You're listening to an archived Cabral Concept podcast. After listening to this show, check out the most up-to-date podcasts available at stephencabral.com/podcasts or search directly on iTunes. And now, welcome to the Cabral Concept, where board-certified naturopath and integrative health practitioner Dr. Stephen Cabral shares how he was diagnosed at the age of 17 with a life-altering illness and given no hope for recovery. It was only after studying and traveling all over the world did he discover how to combine ancient Ayurvedic healing practices with state-of-the-art naturopathic and functional medicine to fully rebalance the body and re-energize it with life. It's time to discover how to get well, lose weight, and finally feel alive again. And now, here's your host, Dr. Stephen Cabral.
So excited for you to join me today on our Motivation and Mindset Monday. We just came off a great weekend of our house calls where we've been answering our community's questions that have been coming in. Always excited to be able to share those, maybe a little bit of insight on how people can move themselves forward. If you don't tune into the weekend house calls, you need to check that out. There's so many, private practice stories shared, of course, confidentiality right there. But also, really, we go into so many topics, and those topics allow you to start to look at your own health and well-being in a little different way, meaning that you can glean a little bit of insight from what I talk about on those shows and how I look at the entire naturopathic and the lifestyle medicine in general, of how we're able to take people's lives from a lot of times those of suffering in both mental and physical for the body to a level that most people never thought that they could achieve. And we're able to do that because honestly, I believe that as someone is healing their body, they are also learning to heal their mind. And as they heal their body, they're creating wins along the way. And those wins along the way are giving them confidence and boosting their self-image so that the next task or the next obstacle they face, they're more comfortable, they're more confident that they can overachieve or achieve and overcome that as well. And the reason is that none of us all of a sudden become the person that we want to be overnight. It doesn't work that way. It just doesn't work that way. So when you set the goal for yourself and it seems overwhelming, it seems like it couldn't possibly come true, keep in mind your goal is not to achieve that end goal quite yet. Your goal is to become the person who's able to achieve a goal like that, right? Is that you're willing to do all the steps along the way. You're willing to read the books. You're willing to do the additional study. You're willing to reach out to the coaches. You're willing to work on your mindset. You're willing to go to bed a little earlier, wake up a little earlier. You're willing to do all of those things. And because you're willing to do those things, you are then worthy of achieving the goals you set for yourself. But you can't set goals and expect to achieve them if you're not willing to change as a person. Now, you don't need to change who you are as an individual, because who you are as an individual is an amazing thing. What I want you to do is essentially build upon your skill sets. I want you to think about what you're already pretty good at, and I want to see how we can improve that. All of the things that you're not great at, maybe we just completely push those aside and focus on our strengths. Maybe we delegate a lot of our weaknesses. We'll talk about that on a future Motivation and Mindset Monday show because I talk about that quite a bit. But today, what I want to do is this, is that on the way to creating your ultimate goal, one of happiness, one of purpose, and one of fulfillment in all areas of your life. It's not enough just to be in body, not enough in relationships, spirituality, not enough in your ideal image, but you also have to create the career, the hobby, the whatever it is in life too, that's giving you that sense of fulfillment. So I want it all for you. I really do. I honestly believe that looking at all the different aspects of your life and bringing them all up while always progressing, while always moving forward is the true key. It is progress, not perfection, that leads to happiness. If we feel ourselves moving forward in life, we truly are happy because we've seen where we used to be and how far we've come. It's why literally 360 out of 365 days a year, I'm very happy. I really am. And it's because all it is juxtaposed on all the terrible stuff that I've gone through in my life. So when I hit another event that's not very good, I say, this is not good. I'm not happy about it. I'm stressed. I'm frustrated. I'm going to sleep on it. I'm going to be better the next day. And also, it could be way worse, right? And I look at other situations around me that I'm like, wow, things can be worse. So I look at that. But also at the same time, I need to figure out ways just like you, to cut down on daily stress, daily frustration, and this thing I call bandwidth, right? I've mentioned it a little bit in the past. Bandwidth is this. I'm a perfect example of this. When I open up my desktop computer in my office, I have an iMac in my office, okay? When I open it up, there are literally 40 to 50 tabs open, and I might have 2 internet browsers. Like, that might be like 40 to 50 times 2. It's ridiculous. But I always say to myself, oh, no, I can't close that yet because I need to go back. I'm researching this. It's hilarious. Again, you don't want to be in this mind. So then when I'm here and I see the little pinwheel moving, my computer's running really slowly. So then I go to my activity monitor. I'm like, why is this computer moving so slowly? And I'm like, oh, well, I've used up all the basically the, I don't even know if RAM is the right word, but I'm using up all the storage memory, the capacity, the strength, the brain of this computer, because it's having to circulate through 40, 50, 80 different tabs. And it can't do that. It's overwhelmed. Well, that's how it is in life as well. So a lot of people, they look at what they're supposed to accomplish for the week. You know, they're using my 12-week year method. They're using my monthly method, my daily method, all those things. And like, well, I haven't gotten any of those things because I have to deal with this, and this. But we can make our lives so much easier. And the way that we make it easier is to take a lot of these redundant tasks out of the way. And that's what I've done. And that's what I want to share with you today. So here's the deal. Like, this is how we can make it simple. I want to share with you a little bit about what I do on a daily basis. Hopefully it provides a little bit of insight. You know where I'm going with it. But then at the end, I'm going to give you a few things that you might want to look at as well. Okay, this is what I do. I look at all the tasks I have to do on a daily basis. And then I say, can I repeat those on a daily basis as part of a routine? Meaning, like, can it happen at the same time every day? Meaning, can I wake up at 5:30 a.m. every day, which is my typical wake-up time, okay? If the answer is yes, then great. Now I can build in my morning routine, and my morning routine is essentially from 5:30 to 6:30, okay? Then I'm leaving the house somewhere between 6:30 and 7, try to kiss my girls goodbye, and then I'm out the door, and then right away I'm getting to my work. Well, what's my first thing before my office opens, all those things? Well, it's my AM prep. So I'm looking at all those things. I'm looking at lab tests. I'm going through plans, like that type of thing. Okay. But then I also say, well, I have to have breakfast. Okay. So I have to make breakfast in the morning. What's that going to be? And then every day I go through my appointments. All that's easy. Okay. And then after that, I say, okay, now is lunch. Okay. Well, where am I going to get lunch today? You know, so that runs through my mind. And then also, okay, well, what am I going to wear for work for that day? Right. Did I go to the dry cleaners? Did I get this? Did I get that? And then the other thing is, you know, what days am I going to the gym? You know, is it going to be today? Is it going to be tomorrow? What days of the week? And what time do I get home at night? So here's what I do. You have to take all that stuff out of the way. Why do I have to take it all out of the way? Here's why. And again, you might be staying at home, taking care of your kids. Again, one of the hardest, most challenging jobs in the world. You can still create a daily routine, right? You might be going to a job in a cubicle that you don't like, where you're getting bossed around and told what to do. I've been there myself. I only did it for 6 months, but I spent 6 months right out of undergrad in an office in a cubicle, and it was honestly, I think it was, what's the best way to say it? Like soul wrenching. I just felt like, wow, like this is not for me. Under fluorescent lights in a cubicle, staring at a computer, like I can't do this. This is not my life. But again, this goes for anything in life, right? This is career-wise, but it's also for your body, for your exercise, and for food. And I'm going to show you that right now. So here's what I do. I need to make sure that I can focus on, for me, it's my work, right? During the day, it's my work, and then it's my family at night and my family on the weekends. Okay, so here's what I need to do. In order to give my best for my work, I can't have a million other decisions to make during the day. I can't have to figure out everything on a day-to-day basis. It's too much. It's too stressful. I get overwhelmed. And if I get overwhelmed at that, I don't have a lot left when I'm being asked questions by my team or private wellness clients or questions on Instagram or our private Facebook group, cabralsupportgroup.com, any of those things. So remember, you're going to be a less stressed person. You're going to be less frustrated. You're going to be able to accomplish more when you get rid of these minor things. So here's what I do. Okay, I wake up at the same time every morning. I go to the bed at the same time every night. I do that within a half hour of that. I try to get to bed by 9:30. I don't like going to bed before 10 p.m. I really don't. So most days it's between 9:30 and 10 p.m. I'd rather go to bed by 11, but I know in order for me to get up at 5:30, which I want to get up at, I have to go to bed around 9:30. So I do that, anywhere between 9:30 and 10. Weekends is definitely 10. Then earlier in the week is going to be ideally around 9:30. I do my best. And then I wake up at 5:30. Okay, I wake up at 5:30 so that I wake up before the rest of my family, because it's going to be my quiet time where I can do my daily routine, that my team is not emailing or texting me questions. Again, I have no problem with that. Like, that's what I do. And I'm super grateful for where I am in life, and I have an amazing team, and I'm always happy to answer the questions, okay? But they're not going to text me between 5:30 and 6:30 a.m. And unless it's an emergency, I guess, but hopefully they're sleeping. So here's the deal. Then I have my hour to myself. And so and even my routine is the same thing every day, single day. And I've talked about that on previous shows, so I'm not going to talk about that today. But I wake up, I'll give you a little bit of it. I do my greens powder, my daily fruit and vegetable blend, squeeze some lime in there. I pinch of sea salt. I use Redmond's real salt. And then I put a teaspoon of Manuka honey or wild raw local honey in that. Stir it up, drink that, hydrated my body. I get right into the shower, essentially, brush my teeth, do my morning routine. Hopefully you checked out episode 739 on the definitive daily routine and how to take care of your teeth and gums. That takes me a whole 5 minutes, and that's it. And then I'm in the shower. I shower first thing, and the reason why I do that is in the past, I had a history of really bad chronic fatigue and Addison's disease, and I was very groggy. The one thing that always woke me up was a shower. Now it's part of a routine. I take that shower. It basically vasodilates. It opens up all of my arteries and it opens up my capillaries and I feel alive, okay? So I do that and I'm ready for the day. Now I do my body weight routine. Nothing that I'm going to start to sweat a lot, but I just do that. It kind of engages my body, it engages my mind, pumps endorphins. And next is up every single breakfast, every single day for breakfast is a smoothie and usually some oatmeal. That's what I do, okay? Every single day. And not only that, it's the same smoothie every single day, Monday through Friday. And I've talked about that before. You can download Dr. Cabral's smoothie. Just go to steamcabral.com/podcast. Click on today's show notes, which is 745. And there'll be a little thing that says free smoothie recipes. Just click on that. You can listen to my podcast on smoothies and you'll see my Purple Crush smoothie. That's what I do every single morning. And then in the afternoon, I do usually a lot of times a second smoothie because it energizes me. That's when I make my tropical smoothie and all those that are great. But I make the same thing every day. So I know every single week when it's time for food shopping, I buy the big bag of wild blueberries. You know, I have my spinach. I have all the things that I put in it. Easy. Done. Okay. So I don't have to think of breakfast. Neither should you. You shouldn't have to come up with a new breakfast every single day. You know, it sounds like, oh, I want to have this like great breakfast every morning. No. Make it simple. Make it simple. Make it inexpensive. And make it easy. So you can do it every day. I put my daily nutritional support in there. I take my morning supplements. Another thing with supplements. My supplements are bagged the night before. I have these little baggies. And all I do is I open up my supplement box, my little case. I put them in the baggies. One for breakfast, and then I have one for my lunch. That's it. I put them in my pocket before I leave the house. So everything is set up the night before. I have my little to-do list. Everything's set up. And then I am literally out the door, okay? Out the door with that. I'm good to go. The next thing that I should say, and for getting changed. People laughed and they kind of joked around with this. I wear to work. I wear a white shirt every single day to work. It's a white button-down shirt. It's a dress shirt. That's it. I used to have like, should I wear this plaid pattern, this stripe pattern? Like, I didn't really give it that much thought, but like a little bit of thought. Does this, shirt match my pants, match this? I don't want to think about all that. Like, I really don't. I have a lot to think about during the day. I'm going to be seeing this person with this autoimmune disease today. This person's going through a debilitating health issue. I don't need to think about whether this shirt matches this, this, and this. I have a bunch of different pants and I have a bunch of different white shirts. I made sure to have plenty so I didn't have to worry about if it was at the dry cleaners or whatever it is. That's it. Simple. Literally. White shirt and they grab my pants and I hang it on my closet the night before so that I don't wake up the rest of my family and I get changed and I'm good to go. So now I don't have to think about all these outfits that you're supposed to wear. And I didn't make up that idea. I got this idea from other people, right? Like Mark Zuckerberg wears the same thing every day. Steve Jobs used to wear the same thing every day. A lot of people just wear the same thing every day and they call it decision fatigue. Meaning that's what I'm talking about today. The more decisions you're forced to make on a daily basis, the more overwhelmed you're going to feel and the less great of a job you're going to do because you just can't force your brain to make that many decisions, especially not to start your day. Then you don't have the ability and the bandwidth and the ability to calm the body and the mind for the rest of the day because all you've just had to make all these decisions to start your day. So that's what I do. And then the next thing is too, I only go to one of two different places for lunch Monday through Friday. My weekends are different. I'll explain that in a moment. One of two places. I don't need to think about what I'm going to get for lunch every single day. I literally go to a place called Dig In, which is right beside one of my offices. Then I have another office which is near Whole Foods. What do? I go in there, I get my carbs, I get my protein, and I get my fat. And it's almost the same thing every day. Broccoli and cauliflower. Sometimes it's asparagus or Brussels sprouts if I'm at Whole Foods. It's sweet potatoes at both places. Usually I do a vegan-based protein for lunch and I'll do maybe not at dinner. And just, again, it depends on how I'm feeling. I listen to my body. I'm doing my olive oil for a dressing. Super simple. During the cold weather, I'm using hot sauce to wake up my circulation and also help with my sinuses. So all of those things, like, easy. I only have 2 places to go to for lunch. Closest one, depending on my location, and I know exactly what I get every single time. Is it boring? Not really. Not really at all. I'm happy that I don't have to think about it. I get a healthy meal. Cruciferous vegetables, a healthy starch, some protein, olive oil for a dressing, some avocado sometimes, a little sea salt. I'm happy. Nourishes my body. I feel great. No bloating. Lots of energy. Good. We're done. So then I do my afternoon work, right? I call that day 2, right? I go into my second day, put my head down. I work, whether I'm recording podcast, doing video, speaking with private wellness clients anywhere in the world. And then on 3 specific days, I have set workout times. This is when I go to the gym. I have an alarm set on my phone. When that alarm goes off, it's a 15-minute warning. You need to get out the door. You need to do your workout, because doing your workout is part of what allows you to be better than at your regular work. Meaning you need to do this to keep your body strong so that you can then have enough energy to be able to serve others and serve your family and also serve yourself, right? So that's what I do. And then I have one floating day for workouts. That's on Tuesdays. That day is kind of a hovering day where I'm between both locations. One of the locations is my studio, and that studio has a gym. So on that day, it's a dress down day in my studio uniform. It's relaxed, and I'm usually catching a workout with one of the personal trainers or by myself or right after a client, whatever it might be. So that's my 4th day. So for me, it's Monday, Tuesdays, Thursday, Fridays. And that's what I do. So it's a really simple routine. I also have an alarm go off at night as well, the end of my day, to say, you have 15 minutes now to wrap up your day, get an Uber or walk home. That's it. Like, that's it. And then I get home. I make sure on most days, except for one day a week, that I'm home for dinner with my family. And that then allows me to then switch modes, be with my family. We do dinner. My wife is, gracious enough to be able to take care of dinner. So that's not a decision I have to come up with, except on the weekends, which I'll talk about in just one moment. That is when I come home. And then every night after dinner, it's the same routine. My daughters hop in the tub. I usually give them a tub. I'll help clean up with my wife. And then we put them to bed. My wife and I chill out on the couch for an hour or so. And then maybe we'll read in bed, or maybe we'll just hit the hay, whatever it might be. Like, super simple. That's it. The only thing that changes during my day are all the different questions now I have for work. What I'm wearing is covered. My breakfast is covered. My lunch is covered every day. My morning routine is covered. My gym time is covered. Everything is done at pretty much the same times throughout the day. That allows me then to make all my decisions or focus on all the other things that pop up and have the energy and bandwidth to be able to do that. Now that I don't have all these tabs open of, where's lunch today? What's this? What am I wearing? What all these different things, like, hey, do I have to pick up dry cleaning? Do I have to go to this? No, I don't have all those tabs open like on my computer. I only have a couple. That's it. And those are just the questions of the day. So maybe this is helpful, maybe it's not, but there's one other thing. You might say, well, that sounds like a really regimented routine. It is. Regimens and routine provide freedom. The freedom to allow you to accomplish everything you want in your life. If you're constantly living day to day, not knowing what the next day is going to be, that's frustrating. That's overwhelming. That leads to anxiety, fear of the future. I've talked about that before. Hopefully you checked out episode 731 where I talked about that, okay, on a Mindset and Motivation Monday. Check that out. These are actually all things we'll be talking about. If you go to businessdetoxretreats.com, Dave Ruel, who's the master of lifestyle design, and myself are going to be talking about all of these topics. I invite you to join us. It's a private retreat. For details, again, I don't want to force anyone to go, but go to businessdetoxretreat.com. Check it out. But here's the other thing. Then Friday night, okay, later in the afternoon on Friday to Sunday is all family time and not necessarily planned, okay? It could be birthdays. It could be taking my girls to swim class. It could be going to Maine. It's going out to dinner maybe with my wife. It's going out with the kids to the park. All of those things are not planned, right? So it's all of the fun things that we want to do that aren't planned. So you have this spontaneity as well. I just recommend that if you have goals for yourself in life, get rid of all the other decisions that you don't need to be made on a daily basis in order for you to focus on the critical few things that will move you ahead in life. That's really it. Create a routine for yourself. allow the anxiety and overwhelm and everything to come along with it to calm down. That will then allow you to take on new things, because you can't take on new things like the coaching, the certifications, the better relationship with your wife or kids, the spirituality component, any of these things without first dealing with your current life, because it's not allowing for any more to come in. The other thing is this, and one of the things that's very applicable and why I use my practice is that when I have people go on a nutritional supplement regimen, a new nutrition regimen and exercise, I just say this, I don't want it to become your whole life. I literally want you to put your little supplements in baggies. Never think about it again. Never think about it again. Literally. You take them at your breakfast, lunch, and dinner, or upon waking before bed. That's it. I don't want you to think about like, hey, what's this supplement doing? Why am I taking it? No, just take them. That's it. They're basically fortified and condensed vitamins and minerals and herbs that have been just crushed and put into pellets. Like, that's it. Like, literally. Allow them to start to fortify your body. We're going to use them for 12 to 16 weeks. Then we're going to wean off pretty much 90% of them. Like, easy, okay? Don't think about it. Your food, same thing. You're going to do a smoothie in the morning, right? You're just going to do that because it's simple and you're going to super hydrate your body. There isn't a person alive that I don't know that doesn't benefit them. And they might add some whole food to it like I do, which is a little bit of oatmeal or something like that. But that's their choice, right? Super simple. Keep it easy. Keep it simple. That is how people get well as well. And the reason is they don't overwhelm themselves with, oh, I have to do this, I have to do this. No, you don't. You're going to do all of them, but you're going to make it easy for yourself, right? You're going to come up with a routine. Remember, I want to repeat this. Routines and rhythms lead to freedom. Routines and rhythms also increase energy because your body is not guessing what comes next. Your cortisol rises in the morning like it should, and then it starts to fall in the day as you can turn your mind off as you get ready for bed because you know your next day is planned and good to go. So hopefully this helps. I would love to be able to answer additional questions for you. Of course, at our retreat, if you go to businessdetoxretreat.com, you'll be getting 2 full days on Friday and Saturday with Dave and myself, and also a private dinner on Thursday night. But best of all, we'll be doing seminars the whole time. But really, the fun thing is that we're going to be keeping this a really small group. I'm hoping maybe 12 people. That's it. 12 people to sit around, campfire at night, to be able to take walks outside, like a true retreat, and just answer your questions and really get into this small group and create a network and just really long-lasting relationships. But again, if you're not able to make it, totally fine. And what I would say as well is if you have follow-up questions, I would love to hear them. Just go to stephencabral.com/ask Cabral. You can ask me questions there at any time that I answer on the weekend house calls. And also you can join the private group at cabralsupportgroup.com, which is a private Facebook group. Really appreciate you tuning into the Cabral concept. I love the Mindset and Motivation Mondays. Honestly, every time that I do one, it reinforces what I'm currently doing right now. And it triggers other things for what I could be doing better. So that's what it's all about. Remember, it is about progress, not perfection. Thank you, everyone. Have an amazing week, and I'll talk with you tomorrow on another Cabral Concept. Before you go, I wanted to share a personal story with you. The real reason I began to get well finally is because I figured out what was wrong with me. And that might seem pretty obvious, but I went from doctor to doctor for over 2 years before discovering at-home functional medicine lab testing. These are the labs that enabled me to finally figure out what was wrong with my hormones, blood sugar, electrolytes, and gut health. And once I knew what was wrong, I could then follow a proven plan in order to rebalance my body from the inside out. This is why I believe so strongly in functional medicine lab testing and why I've made it my mission to share these labs with the world. Now at equa.life, you can order an at-home lab test or lab bundle for you and your family and be able to complete it within the week. Plus, the EquaLife difference is that you're not left to try to read and figure out these labs on your own. We explain what your lab numbers mean, what they mean in the much bigger picture, and then how to go about rebalancing your body in order to heal. To see our full selection of lab tests or to set up a free lab selection call to find out what labs may be best for you, simply head on over to equa.life/labs. And do remember, we ship these all over the world. To find out more and to set up your free lab selection call, simply head on over to equa.life/labs. That's EQUI.LIFE/labs.